Indonesia's digital economy has become one of the fastest growing in the world, thanks to the widespread adoption of the QR-based payment system, or Qris, which has made transactions easier, especially among small and medium-sized companies. Here are the highlights of the rising presence of Qris in the country's digital payments.
The presence of Qris, which was introduced by Bank Indonesia in 2019, has revolutionized the way people conduct transactions, particularly by providing a practical, fast, secure, and inclusive payment method. According to Bank Indonesia data, transactions through Qris experienced a significant surge, with growth reaching 162% year-on-year. The surge in growth occurred in line with the increasingly massive adoption of Qris by micro, small, and large businesses, as well as the wider acceptance of Qris in a number of countries in Asia. Qris users have reached 58 million, with transaction values reaching 1.9 quadrillion rupiah. By July 2025, the number of merchants accepting Qris reached more than 50 million across Indonesia. This figure is dominated by micro, small, and medium enterprises. Many street vendors and food stalls have now accepted Qris payments. One of Qris's major achievements in 2025 is its successful cross-border expansion. Bank Indonesia has collaborated with several central banks in Southeast Asia and East Asia to connect with the Qris payment system with similar standards in other countries. By August 2025, Qris had been connected to 9 countries, including Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, and several other ASEAN countries. Despite the remarkable achievement, Qris still faces several challenges. First, infrastructure in frontier and outermost regions is not yet fully ready to support digital transactions. Limited internet access has hampered Qris transactions in these regions. Second, digital literacy among small traders still needs to be improved. Many small business owners still are not aware of the benefits of Qris, or are even reluctant to abandon cash transactions. Third, digital security presents a unique challenge. With increasing transaction volumes, the risk of fraud, phishing, or data misuse also increases. Therefore, regulatory oversight and increased consumer awareness regarding digital security are essential. This counterfeit Qris fraud scheme is generally carried out by using QR codes that appear to belong to legitimate stores or businesses. However, these QR codes have been modified so that the funds actually go to the perpetrator's account. These counterfeit Qris can be found in various places such as restaurants, places of worship, and even at MSME stands at bazaars. This scheme is also often spread through social media or private messages. The Qris application offers various benefits for MSMEs in Indonesia. First, Qris allows MSMEs to accept payments from various payment applications with just one QR code, simplifying the transaction process. Second, using Qris Merchant increases transaction security because it is equipped with advanced encryption technology. And third, Qris also reduces reliance on cash, thereby reducing the risk of loss or theft. In line with the government's plan to expand internet service coverage to remote areas, we hope that Qris will become a payment tool not only in cities but also in villages.
Introduced in 2019, Qris, or the Quick Response Code Indonesian Standard payment system, has become a national digital backbone for payments in the country. It has been widely used not only in malls and supermarkets, but also by street traders. Our guest today, Nailul Huda, the Director of Digital Economy at CELIOS. He will talk about the rapid adoption of Qris and its benefits to small and medium businesses. Hello, Mas Nailul Huda. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Halo, Stephanie.
Hello, Mas. Qris has revolutionized the way people do transactions in Indonesia. The number of Qris users has exceeded 58 million with a total transaction value of 1,900 trillion rupiah. What factors led to such rapid adoption?
Yeah, Vale. Actually, it's really impressive, yeah. And then I saw several key reasons behind this growth. And the first is Qris offer simple and universal way to payment. The system provide a simple way to help SMEs and user like us to get easy payment. And then I saw that the chance of our lifestyle, especially for financial consumption, our people like to using digital wallet actually. And then we saw about the Bank Indonesia very proactive to boost this usage of Qris. BE also provide the strong support to SMEs. And you know, Vale, our people, especially on this day, like to use the digital wallet using their smartphone rather than a card. So it boosts the using of Qris.
Okay, so it's easy to adapt by anyone, basically just like that. So in just about 5 years since its launch, Qris has been accepted as a method of transaction, not only in Indonesia, but also in ASEAN, China, and Japan. What is the benefit Indonesia can get from the Qris cross-border transaction?
Okay. Actually, it is a big step for us, for Qris, because we can use Qris not only in Indonesia, but also in Singapore, in Malaysia, and Thailand. And I don't know, we also use the Qris on maybe in Japan and Arab Saudi in, I think, the next year and the next year. It make our people don't need a local currency in huge amounts to get some transaction in this country. Cross-border Qris, we call it, make it easier for tourists to pay directly from financial account that support Qris. And for the SMEs, the tourists come from Malaysia, Thailand, and other countries don't need to exchange to rupiah for transaction. So for the regional cross-border Qris, Indonesia is key players to connecting the countries in a financial system. It's a huge advantage for us actually, because you know, like the China using QR code, using QR code, and then Malaysia, Thailand, and other country in Asia using it. And then I think it is very huge advantage for us to grow the Qris in our regional, especially on ASEAN. So it is potential advantage for us to get the key players on the global financial system.
Qris is also currently under trial in South Korea and India. Do you see the possibility of Qris becoming an important global payment like e-wallets and mobile banking platforms?
Yeah. Like I said before, actually, Qris has a potential to become a huge global players in the world, like Visa, MasterCard. This potential came with a huge adoption of QR-based system. Actually, in China, they use QR-based system, but interestingly, QR-based system on China different with Qris. So this is a benefit for Qris to have a huge market in ASEAN, in Korea, in South Korea, in India, and Arab Saudi. But it will take time to Qris become a big players. They need international regulation, for example, cybersecurity and the common global system like SWIFT. And you know about like a Visa and MasterCard, they use in every single country. But Qris, with the potential of the technology, I think has potential to become a huge global player like Visa and Mastercard in maybe in 10 next year and or I think next 5 year is a potential Chris to become a huge global players.
All right, since you mentioned Visa, MasterCard, we know that the United States has officially opposed the presence of Qris in the financial payment system. Why is the U.S. so worried about Qris?
US is still use card-based actually, Mbak Vale. US is still use card-based payment with Visa and MasterCard that have a huge market in the world. With the huge growth of QR-based payment system, I think the market share of Visa and MasterCard will decline. And then, US government tried to push down the usage of Qris, because they saw the potential of Qris to become one of the global player on payment system. So they use Qris to push the trade negotiation with Indonesia actually, And then about the US government also make a statement that Qris is a huge threat for Visa and Mastercard. But I think Indonesia, our government, must have a good statement on this issue because Qris is one of the best our product that we made. Actually, Qris is one of the best product that we made. So Indonesia must protect it at all costs. We all know the growth of Qris account is higher than card-based system. The market want Qris, not card-based financial payment anymore. So market told it about we want Qris, we didn't want a card-based more. So I think our government must be protect our market, and I don't know if they have opportunity to make a bigger market in ASEAN. It is a positive reason.
All right. How secure is the Qris payment application to its users? What kinds of frauds are commonly found in Qris transactions, and how to avoid them?
About we still have the challenges of the using of Qris because we all know about the digital divide. The first is gap infrastructure. In Indonesia, like Jakarta and West Indonesia, like Jakarta and the other city on Java Island, is more adaptive for Qris. But I think in the outside of Java Island is less adaptive for technology, especially Qris. So this is the several area in Indonesia is still blind spot actually, Mbak Vale. So we have challenges on gap infrastructure, and then we have the gap of human capital. Our financial literacy index, especially on digital financial literacy index, is still low rather than other countries like Malaysia, like Singapore and Thailand. So we have the human capital gap. So based on the gap infrastructure and human capital gap, we know about the Qris is, I think challenges of Qris is the security, because if your financial literacy index slow, you get the thief on your QR is easily. So so it is the challenges of Qris in our country right now.
All right. Thank you very much, Mas Nailul Huda, for sharing your thoughts on Economic Outlook today.
You're welcome, Mbak Khalid.